Work on your game in this offseason?
Really started in January. It was a long season, so I spent the majority of the beginning part of the off season focusing on my body. I feel like I'm in a really good place right now, and really, as my throwing reps have continued to grow, um, sort of those phases continue, and I think right now, whether it's footwork, whether it's the offense, I'm very comfortable in this offense right now, and I think, building chemistry even more with some of the guys that are on field, rebuilding my chemistry with Ronnie, maybe some guys that I haven't gotten as many reps with. I think, especially this time right now, that's the time to do it, and we're really close right now, and I'm excited to see all that work, come into fruition and us get after it in camp.
Okay, kind of a corollary to that. How do you feel like where do you feel like you've made the biggest improvements going from this point last year to now?
I think my footwork has changed a lot. I feel like I have a better base right now. I think, really, I feel really confident in my throwing right now. I think as the season goes on, as more balls are being thrown, you kind of settle into mid-season form. And I think this offseason especially, my accuracy has probably been as clean as it's ever been in my career. And I'm very confident in my ability right now.
There's a lot of people talking about this offense and its potential. Is there an aspect of it that you're most excited about and live up to what people are saying?
I would say I'm just really excited to see just a big group of guys who have been together for so long for us to. I want to see success. I think everyone else does too. We got a big group of guys who have been playing together for a while. A lot of guys who have seen a lot of game experience, and I think really over the course of my career, really with the exception of with Donovan Peoples-Jones, Nico Collins, Sean McCune, like guys who have been on the field as much as them, I think this is the most experienced group that I've been around really in my entire career.
You've had Josh Gaddis as your offensive coordinator. Now you've got two offensive coordinators. How is that going to work? How has it worked so far in spring?
I think so far, we're finding our way to, what that looks, how that feels best for, really. There's so much more to being an offensive coordinator than just calling plays, and I think Coach Harbaugh is doing a really good job of balancing the two, and those two are being very unselfish. They're really two great individuals, and it's pretty obvious to the team how much they care about their new roles as well. And really, I'm just really excited to, continue growing my relationship with both of them. I think Coach Weiss is he's extremely smart. I think, any situational awareness, Coach Weiss is very comfortable in any scenario that we get put in a football game. I think what he brings to the table as far as drawing up plays for certain looks, I think he's very comfortable. He's seen a lot. He's seen what that looks like from the NFL perspective, and he's able to take that knowledge and give it to us. And he's taught me, so much as to even what I can expect at the next level. And he's a really good dude, and I know he's got a lot of respect, not just from me, but from Coach Harbaugh and the rest of the guys. So just really looking forward to this season with him.
What is he like personality-wise?
He's very serious, but at the same time, you can joke around with him. I think, Coach Weiss is really laid back. He can, you could share some very personal things with him, and I know a lot of us appreciate that. And when it comes to on the field, I think, he's very aware of, maybe he did not play quarterback, but he understands, what it takes to play quarterback as far as the movement, as far as throwing, or he really takes into consideration, our natural feel of the game. And when we're watching film, like if you move in a pocket a certain way, like, as to maybe just saying like maybe you didn't have to do that, or maybe less criticism. It's more of like a conversation as to, why did this happen, and how can we do better from this certain play or situation that we faced.
Last preseason, a lot different than this preseason. Both preseasons. You guys had an obvious feel last year that drove you to the season leading up to this year. What is
Yeah, I think, our identity, I mean, it wasn't discovered in spring ball. It wasn't discovered, in player-led practices as to what kind of physicality that we were going to bring. Or I think, over the course of the next month, we're going to have a pretty damn good idea of what that's going to look like. And I think as we continue through non-conference play, we're going to really fine-tune that. And, whatever it is, I mean, we're well aware that this team is different. This team is going to maybe do things better, or we're going to have a different identity than last season. But whatever that is, our culture will remain the same. And, I just think it's a little early for that right now, but I'm excited to see what it is.
Cade, how are you viewing the quarterback competition in camp? Are you going into it, even though you've been the starter, feeling like you need to win the job again?
Well, yeah, I think, no matter what position you're in, I think if you become complacent, you become vulnerable. And I think this whole entire situation has really helped me in that sense that, I have zero complacency as to what my situation is and where I am on the depth chart. So if anything, I'm getting better faster than me just sitting in the quarterback room comfortably. I mean, not as much. I wouldn't say, because I was able to watch Alabama my freshman year and then Georgia this year. I mean, I think we missed plenty of opportunities that game. I'm not going to say that, we didn't belong in that game, because we did. But I think, that was an extremely good defense. I mean, as we saw in the NFL draft, I mean, half the team went in the first and second round. So it's not like, we're playing a lesser than average opponent. I mean, they're extremely good team. So I think, us getting that perspective of, look, this is a talent we're going to see. This is what it's going to take if we want to win a national championship. I think that perspective was huge for this team, and it was humbling, and now we know, what it looks like.
Speaking of knowing what it looks like, after just the long recent history of struggling against Ohio State and having never made it to a Big Ten championship until this past year, how much does now, having had that experience, knowing what it took to get there, how much do you feel like that helps this team moving forward?
Yeah, I think it helps us a lot. I mean, it gives us definitely more confidence that, look, we've been there. There's less weight on our shoulders as to the stress of, we have to do this. We have to, it was just a lot of, in a way, it was like anxiety as to, like, why is Coach Harbaugh on the hot seat? Like, why does he have to, face like the criticism? Because if anyone wants to beat Ohio State, it's Coach Harbaugh, and I can promise you that. But I think, now that we got that for him, I think now that we know what that looks like, we're going to be even more confident going into that game. I think, a part of being a leader, being a member of this team, is to make sure that, we don't come complacent, not just myself, but as a team. And, I think we have stressed that mentality pretty strong this offseason, that, Team 143 is a different team, and what Team 142 did last season doesn't really matter anymore.
Having played with both offensive lines from last year and this spring, how are they similar and how are they different with the two new pieces?
I think, well, they're extremely good. I think I'm very comfortable back there in a pocket. They definitely have a lot of confidence in themselves, and that's something that stayed pretty consistent, that, when it's short yardage, they want us to run the ball. Like, it's not as much of, whoever's in the backfield, whatever it is, they want the coaching staff to put trust in them, that, we're going to believe in them to get that first down. And, I mean, they're very similar. I mean, almost the entire starting line, but I think, Andrew Stardust was a huge part of our offense last season, and, I'm thankful, for what he did, and I'm super excited to see what Olu can do, because he is a beast. And, I mean, losing Andrew Stuber, another big part of our offense, but, we have guys who can fill that position as well. And, as camp goes, we'll see who that is, and I definitely do not have any fear as to what that offensive line can do.
After the game, the line, just the competition of guys were able to see that last year. You've pretty much been in the competition every year since you've been at Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, I have kind of been in a competition with the exception of my redshirt freshman year, just every single year that I've been at Michigan. And I mean, that's something that's not really foreign to me at this point. So, I mean, anything I do is going to be for the sake of the team winning. And that's what's most important on my mind. And, you know, what comes with that is having good relationships, you know, with my teammates. And really for me, like, I take a lot of pride in, you know, what I bring to the team from a leadership standpoint. So allowing, you know, negativity or anything like that, I don't think that's healthy for the team or really for myself either.
What could or should a season like that do for the future of Michigan football?
It should be a foundation. I think everyone in our program is very confident in the culture that we have developed, and I think it should be here to stay. I think for this season, at least, it is. I think the guys are confident in not just our ability, but you know what we've created at Michigan is from a culture standpoint, from a mentality standpoint, has been such a big difference over the last couple of years, and I see it. You know, I only see this continuing to grow, and I'm just here, and some of the other guys that are here today are here to make sure that we stay on track.
Last time you were in this building was for the Big Ten championship game, which you guys won. How does it feel to be back, and how does it motivate you being here to get back to the Big Ten championship?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, the last time we were here, there's confetti on us, which felt good. But those feelings that we felt, as they're being triggered right now, it only makes you want to work harder. And I think seeing the other teams, being in this atmosphere, it gets us excited that we're close to real football again. And of course, it's going to be motivating.
This season, for the first time in 4 years, your team gets to play Ohio State and get in the shoe for the first time in 4 years. What have you heard about Ohio Stadium? This year is also the 100-year anniversary of it as well. So what have you heard about it? Have you been there? Just can you give me a rundown of Ohio Stadium and your history with it?
I visited the shoe when I was in like 7th grade, just walked around it, and I've heard plenty about it.
Are you looking forward to anything in particular when the game comes around in November?
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to it.
Right here. Question for you. Really positive sports, so really positive content. So, college sports for you. What are some of your favorite memories of playing college football? Obviously, you're not going to play college football your entire life, but what are some things that kind of stand out to you? Not just in Michigan, but I mean, maybe going places or doing things like that.
Yeah, I think, we're in the process of that right now. I think at the University of Michigan, what Coach Harbaugh has done from a trip standpoint, I was fortunate enough to be one of the guys who made the South Africa trip. I mean, that is a core memory that'll stay with me for the rest of my life. And I think really, we always think about like kind of what we achieved as a team. But really the funnest times we're in the weight room, we're, messing around in the locker room or whatever it is, or even for me, some of the crazier games are the ones that we kind of don't talk about, like when we were in Nebraska last year, or for the majority of our team, their first visit to an away game with fans last year. I think like half of our team had not played in a game with fans in another stadium till last season when we played Wisconsin. And I think just even from the littlest experiences to where we are now, I think it's just been a blast, and I just can't wait to keep making some memories. Yeah.
Cade, what players that maybe we don't know enough about or we've seen just sparingly do you think are going to surprise people this year?
I mean, we have so many guys. I think, really, I'm excited to see. I mean, we keep talking about. I'm just gonna keep talking about like just who's gonna step into their roles. I think this year, and I think we're gonna find that out here soon. But I think, our freshman class is really good. Both sides of the ball. For me, like the wide receivers, they're really talented. Darius, Tyler, Amarion, like these guys are. I mean, these guys are good. And I think from the youngest guys to maybe the ones that are waiting to take their opportunity. I'm gonna let them do that themselves, and I just can't wait for them to do it.
Coach Harbaugh was asked what this team's goals are, and the first one out of his mouth was to beat Michigan State and Ohio State the same year. Will you circle that Michigan State game a little bit more because of what's happened the last couple?
Well, yeah, that stung. I mean, we lost 2 games last year, and that was one of them. And I think, the way we lost sucked. And I think, we're definitely going to circle Michigan State this season. I think, it's the same thing. It's upsetting that, we lost that game, and that fuels a lot of dudes who didn't beat them the year before that as well, And I think, we're going to worry about everyone on our schedule, but obviously our goals are to beat Ohio State, beat Michigan State in the same season, win a Big Ten title, and win the national championship.
How different is the feel of this offseason? Last year you guys didn't play the spring game on TV, and it's pretty much all football. You guys were bunkered in. This year you have the spring game on TV, and you're doing the tour around Michigan. What's the difference? Is there a different vibe feel with this offseason versus last?
We're going to be doing different things. We're going to be experiencing different things. I think, in a way, we still played the spring game, and for guys to get the opportunity to visit, places of Michigan that they probably would never get the opportunity to if it wasn't for, this program, I see it all as benefits. I think, as I mentioned before, this is a different team. This is, we can't rely on what we did last season to give us any really complacency as to what's going to happen this season. We can't lay off the gas pedal at all. If anything, we push it down to the floor, because we're going to have an even bigger target on our back this season.
What's it like for you to come back for this event, see Sean Clifford and Tanner Morgan, and you all here again? You guys seem like you've been here forever. What is that like?
I remember watching those guys when I was a recruit, so I'm not that old, but those guys are good players, and as QBs, like, we like to watch each other. We like to watch film on one another, and I like both of those dudes' game. I respect them both a ton, and I wish them nothing but the best this season.
How is 6 years different for you?
How's this year different?
Yeah, 6 year in school.
Well, this is my 4th year.
I'm sorry, 4th year.
So, it's just, it's just one more year of experience. I think, as, you get older, you become more aware of things. You become, you just get better through experience and through more reps. And I think, I've done that.
Cade, how important is it to you to make sure that the quarterback competition is cordial instead of cutthroat, and that room stays tight?
What was it? Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, the quarterback competition. How important is it to you that it stays cordial, not cutthroat, and that you guys you obviously all have the same goals in that room, but to stay tight as a crew?
Right. Well, I think, any quarterback's job should be focused on to make sure the team wins. And I think, that whole group is confident that that's our mindset, and if it's not, then we'll change it.
Cade, how did finally getting that monkey off your back, the Ohio State game, how did it change your head coach, do you think? What did you see different about him after finally getting over that hump?
I don't think he's changed a ton. I just love to see the guy happy. I think, the joy that we saw in Coach Harbaugh's eyes, we mentioned it last year as, we wanted it to win for ourselves, but we also wanted to win that game for Coach Harbaugh, and we're just so happy that we were able to do that last season, and now we got to replicate it.
Given your leadership status on the team, how important was it for you to kind of be at this event in particular?
Well, I take it as an honor that Coach Harbaugh chose me to be here, and I think, I'm not super surprised, but I know my teammates are confident that I'm representing them, and I'm honored to do that.
We see
we're obviously here to talk about football, but you talk about the platform that you guys are given, trips you've taken, your teammates who went to Selma recently. You've gone to, you were in Flint, I believe, touring the jail as part of the state tour, and different people around the program have been outspoken about sort of the way.
Like a confidence that I have in Olu or our relationship.
Cade, for the guys that stick around on campus in May and June, what type of role or influence do the older players have in recruiting kids coming through those visits?
I mean, we host them, and I think, you know, we do the best we can to, you know, show them what Michigan has to offer and give them a perspective of what it would be like if they came to Michigan. And I think a lot of guys take a lot of pride in that. And I know guys like A.J. Henning and Mikey Sandersill have hosted multiple recruits and have had success doing it. And, you know, we appreciate those guys for, you know, bringing in, you know, recruits. And I think, you know, that's a part of the game. And, you know, it's definitely a huge portion as to how we get our players during those 2 months.
Outside of those 2 months, do you guys pay attention to recruiting, or do you have so much other stuff going on in the school and football that it doesn't really come up too often?
I mean, I don't think anyone is like pretty focused on like who are we trying to get. I think, you know, if we're at the point where if a guy commits to us, then, you know, great, because then that means the coaches believe in him. So once he gets to Michigan, then, you know, once it comes signing day, that's when, you know, that's when the team is formed, and now they're a part of our team. And that's about it.
Cade, what do you think November 26th will be like this?
I'm sure it'll be pretty loud, and I'm sure it'll be a lot of red.
How much are you looking for?
I'm excited. I've never been able to witness it, but, you know, I'm sure it's a pretty sweet atmosphere. Yeah, it'll be fun.
You guys were able to rally when Ronnie went down last year. Do you think people are underestimating the kind of impact he can have coming back on this team?
I'm sure Ronnie appreciates the motivation, and I'm excited to share the field with that man again.
Talk about what he means to you.
Oh, he was a captain last year. I mean, the guy, he's an extremely big part of our team. When he went down, a lot of guys were very upset. I mean, not just what he meant for us as a wide receiver, but probably, if not the most popular guy in the locker room. I mean, the guy, everyone loves Ronnie, and we want nothing but to see him succeed.
How did he make an impact last year when he wasn't on the field? Because obviously, you know, you're that much of a leader in the locker room. I imagine there's little things that he's saying on the sidelines and things like that.
Yeah, I think Ronnie, everyone talks about game day Ronnie, that is just so much different. I think his intensity just goes up at least 5 notches on game day. And I think, you know, it was pretty upsetting for him. I know it was, that he wasn't, you know, able to wear the pads on game day, but, you know, he did everything he could last season to share wisdom with the guys who were in, and even let me know when, you know, something was open or whatever it was. And, you know, I'm just so happy that he's actually able to play with us again.
So does game day Ronnie have catchphrases or things like that, or is it just like yelling in your face? Like what's different about him?
I think he just wants to score every single drive, and he's so confident in his ability to get open that, you know, and I'm also well aware of how football smart he is. He's a very savvy player, and like if Ronnie sees something, then, you know, I can talk to him about it, and then, you know, we'll look to expose that. And I think he's played so much football that, you know, I trust him, and it's just, he's a big asset of our team.
Cade, talk if you would about the jump that Eric All took last year, and the excitement that guys felt that he decided that he was going to stick around for this one.
Yeah, that is what Eric was able to display was no surprise to me. He's made extremely freakish plays in practice, and you know, he's a really good friend of mine, and I trust him throwing the ball. And you know, we're really happy that he decided to come back, and I just see him only growing this season.
Where did
did you improve the most individually this offseason, and how much of it was motivated by a potential starting quarterback battle?
I have a lot of motivational factors in my life. And, I rely on those to help me get better. And I think, I've grown in many places this year, and I'll be able to put some good stuff on film, I think, this year. And most importantly, I just think, all the work that I do, it's just to help the team win. So hopefully I can help do that again this year.
Okay, what are some things that have impressed you the most about Alex Orji and James Dennicall since they got on campus?
Yeah, both really good dudes. Both have very good talent. They both have really good frames. And they've been nothing but just ready to learn and just wanting to get better. And that stands out a lot. And, as an older guy in the room, I can help do that for them. And, hopefully, I can see them both being really good players.
Okay, you haven't had a lack of NIL deals, right? That hasn't exactly been something that you've had a hard time, like, having offers and things. Like, how do you manage that?
Thankfully I have a good, support group that's able to help me navigate that area. Personally, as far as NIL, I'm not seeking many deals. I'm just seeking, I care a lot about my brand. I care about a lot who I'm partnered with. So as far as me rushing into things or like searching for bigger money or whatever it is, that's not really my agenda. NIL is considered kind of it's definitely not a main focus of mine. And I'm aware that being the quarterback at Michigan that, I might benefit maybe more than some other players. And, I just want to, make sure that whoever I partner with or whatever I do, that it doesn't negatively affect my image.
How much is Valiant Management help you in that, specifically in NIL?
Yeah, he's helped a lot. And Jared has also helped a lot with our team, really. And I know the guys definitely appreciate him.
Coach Harbaugh has been pretty outspoken on his views on NIL. What are your just overall thoughts? Right, you're in this position where you have an opportunity to cash in, but you're not a recruit right now. Your time in college is kind of coming to an end bit by bit. What are your thoughts on the role of collectives and what NIL is in college football?
I think NIL has been. I can't really speak for other schools because I don't know what that looks like, but I know in the Michigan locker room it hasn't affected anything. And really it's kind of an unspoken topic, which I think is a good thing because some guys are going to get different opportunities than others, and but it has not affected relationships. It hasn't affected our team in any sort of way, and as long as that continues to happen, again, I don't see a main focus in NIL.
One last thing for you on that. So, when a recruit comes to campus, right, you have some interaction from time to time with recruits. If NIL is the only thing they want to talk about, Michigan probably is not for them. Is that a fair thing to say?
I think NIL has just given recruits one more thing to consider. That's it.
Okay,
when you come to media days like this, you're having to sit there for 45 minutes and people keep asking about the position and JJ and all that. How do you deal with that and prepare yourself going into this knowing that people are always going to be asking about your own job?
I'm sure. I doubt any player at the next level. They're always being. I always hear about Aaron Rodgers getting asked about his job. Everyone's always talking about where that guy, where's he gonna go? I'm sure. There's a million things that, a million different topics, I guess, that people decide to talk about, and whatever that is, they can talk about it. But I don't really care what anyone else has to think, or honestly.
What
we're seeing that more and more. DJ Uyunglele at ACC Media Days, people kept asking him about the backup there and whether he felt safe about it. You're seeing that more and more. Does that bother you that we're getting to that space where it seems like we're going week to week with the biggest job on a football team? Their sense of urgency has skyrocketed.
I mean, whatever the media decides to write about, that is none of my business, and I don't really care about it. And at the end of the day, whatever's going on inside Schembechler Hall is the only thing that I really care about.
There's always a natural progression that takes place, but I'm just curious if you've noticed anything different about your wide receivers and tight ends with both groups having new position coaches this year.
Well, I think what is so big for us is just the amount of experience those two groups have, and I think we have so much depth at each position that each guy is able to push one another. We have guys now that have played so many snaps that some of these guys don't even really necessarily need to be, coached on something because they know Ronnie or Eric, one of them is going to coach them about it. I mean, a lot of the stress, especially this time of year, is on these player-led practices and voluntary workouts and everything. And, that's something over the last 2 years now that Michigan has embraced, and that we're able to use that time to, we set special time aside just for make sure that the older guys are able to coach the younger guys. And we make sure that, all the ones, the twos, the threes, everyone gets reps. But, as a leader, as a senior, it's your job to, continue the growth of the program. And really relating back to your question, everyone, we're well aware that we have a very talented wide receiver room. We have talented freshmen, and now we have older guys coaching them, during these player-led walkthroughs and stuff like that. And I think, it's nothing but great for our team and for those guys in the future as well.
Is this the most talented and deepest you guys have been a receiver? And what do you guys think you're capable of achieving offensively this year? Expect to take the next step?
I expect us, to be successful. I think we have a lot of depth. We have a lot of depth at many positions, and that should only help us not just to, on game day, but to make competitive practices more competitive. And that's where I see us, and I see us getting better at football faster that way.
How has Mikey balanced his time? What has he done to find a role on both sides of the ball? Mikey Sanders done. How has he balanced his time?
Well, Mikey's a really smart player. He is, he knows coverage. He knows, how to, affect man coverage. He knows a lot about just about every position, and I think because of that, he's able to balance it so well. And I think, his role on the team this year is going to be big, and I'm just excited to see him shine through that.
You talked about the pieces around you. I guess, keeping the transfer rule in mind where guys have the opportunity to leave a program, for a one-year rule, I guess, how important for you as a starting quarterback has it been to keep a lot of those types of guys around you and keep the roster intact with the opportunity of guys going elsewhere?
Well, if anyone is not invested in us winning games, then it's my job to motivate those individuals that's the standard at Michigan. And that's a pretty, that's how we feel as a team. That, we talk about, get the train moving, that we're all going to get on board. And, if they don't want to be at Michigan and they don't want to help contribute to us, then I don't think they should be there.
Okay, did you get a chance to see I'm sorry if you've already been asked this, but did you get a chance to see the Cleveland.com poll?
The what?
The Cleveland.com poll that the media voting on the expectations of each team in the Big Ten, and Michigan being voted second behind Ohio State in the East Division. And if you have or haven't, what's your reaction to knowing that you're being a Big Ten defending champion and not being given the expectation that you'll repeat?
I did not see that, and I don't know. I don't get surprised by what I see anymore.
Hey, Kayla from Sports Philanthropy now. Off the field, what kind of charities are you passionate about? How would you like to volunteer your time?
Oh, man, I think I'm blessed with a very big platform that I'm able to help, affect a lot of people, and through relationships like, whether it's we have really close family friends who have, gone through some things, or other really groups that I've come in contact with the last 2 years. I'm not here to say really what I've done, because I don't really want to that's not why I do it. I do it to help. I do it to help the people. I choose to volunteer my time, whether it's at a camp or a place, or I've chosen to volunteer just because I think it's important for that, because then why would you do it? I don't want to sit out here and brag about I volunteered here, I went to this place, or whatever that is. I just whatever that situation is, or where I've gone the last 2 years, I do it for the sake of those individuals and how I can positively impact them.
Cade, if there's one player on the Michigan team that you think could be a surprise this season, who would it be and why?
I think we just have a lot of talent on our team, and we have a lot of guys who are going to play big roles, and there's also a lot of dudes with a lot of experience, and I think those guys are going to be counted on when we face adversity. But as far as who's the one guy who might see playing time a little extra this year, or a freshman or newcomer, we're all pretty well aware that Olu is going to have an extremely big impact on our team. That's one I'm extremely confident he's going to play well this season. But as far as who's going to be a surprise, we'll see.
Lighthearted question: what's the first thing that comes to your head when you hear the word Wisconsin?
Jump around. It was fun jumping around.
Speaking of Olu, snaps and chemistry-wise, where are you guys at with building rapport there?
I think our relationship has done nothing but just continued to grow. On the trip, he's been my roommate, and I'm happy that we were able to do that we were able to room together, and he's teaching me some new things already, and some stuff he's talked to me about, some of his experiences, and I just really look forward to getting to know him better, and I don't worry about Olu as far as whether he's working hard, or whether he's going to be ready for the season. I don't worry about that at all. I just want to make sure that he's comfortable, and that that he's enjoying this time here at Michigan.
It's no secret that probably going to have some ball around practice with that wide receiver that you had. One guy that stood out in the spring game was Darius Clemens. I know he didn't play as much in the spring game setting, but looking forward to the fall, if you see him possibly having an impact on what kind of that physical profile, as unique as it is, how fun is that to practice?
Yeah, it's fun. He's an extremely good player. He was able to, show what he can do a little bit, and he showed that and more in practice. And if he sees the field, then he's definitely physically ready. And he came in looking physically ready. He still looks physically ready. He's a freak, and a really good dude too.
You guys ever thought about the defense comparisons with him? Because that's what a lot of people kind of thought. Obviously, it's lofty, and it's hard to compare anyone to him.
Yeah, DK, DC. I don't know. That has a little ring to it.
Earlier, maybe an hour ago, you talked about your accuracy, and that you feel like that's really great. How do you improve on that? Is that just throwing, or are you studying film, or
Well, it's a combination of studying my motion, and then working with the coaches, working with my quarterback coach Jordan Palmer, as to where are my inefficiencies that are leading. A part of my motion could be where I step could cause me to maybe pull on my front side, which is why the ball goes right. It's not just because I missed the ball right. Let's grab the football and throw it again. It's more of why did I miss there? What caused it? And whether that's biometrically, whether that's, physically or even mentally, finding those things. And obviously you can't change everything in one day or everything in one off season, but finding things that, I've been able to focus on some things that have helped me improve, and I'm just going to continue to keep working on those things.
Thank you so much. That's all the time you have.